Hey guys, today I want to show you guys my level 86 Necromancer. This is a pure Bone Spear build. It is one of the best DPS builds in the game and I highly recommend you guys to play this build. It is definitely going to get nerfed. You literally one-shot bosses off screen and yeah, let's get right to it. Now to start off, you want to pick up 1 point into Bone Splinters and you want to get Enhanced Bone Splinters. It's pretty much just filler abilities to get to your core skill section. You want to max out Bone Spear and lead into Supernatural Bone Spear. You want to max out these passives here as it gives you more essence and more damage. Now you want to max out these passives as well and pick up Corpse Explosion. Now you use Corpse Explosion only to regen your essence with Grim Harvest. So pretty much you're generating extra corpses. When you generate, you utilize the corpses to proc Corpse Explosion and it helps you regen essence back. Now Blood Mist is one of the best skills in the game and this is mandatory. It is a get out of jail card for your character as you are a glass cannon. It gets you out of CC like stuns and freeze effects, and if you're ever in a bad situation you can just pop it and move. You want to max out these passives as well. Now I've put 1 point into Rapid Ossification as a filler ability or a filler passive. You could take Decrypify. I just didn't see myself using Decrypify at all because I'm just one-shotting everything, but I guess later on in the game you can swap the point around. You want to pick up Corpse Tendrils and you want to lead into Plague Corpse Tendrils. This is a nice stun ability your character gets, and it is also a damage buff with an aspect you use. You want to pick up these passives as well, as you're sacrificing your minions, so it's just additional damage to your build and damage reduction. Now you pick up Bone Storm as your ultimate ability. It's not used for damage, it's used for the buff it gives. So offensively it gives you a crit chance buff, and defensively it gives you a damage reduction buff. The way I use Bone Storm is I pop it and I go into bad situations to give me a defensive buff. One of the weaknesses of the build is suppression mobs, and there are a lot of elites with suppression mobs, so to get into the circle and take damage, I pop it so it gives me a defensive buff. For your key passive, you want to pick up Ossified Essence. The way this works is when you have over 50 essence, the more you have, the more damage it deals. Now let's show you guys my Paragon tree. If you guys do want the exact tree and my skill tree, please let me know down in the comments below and I will link it. But the general gist of the tree is you want to pick up Exploit, you want to pick up Essence, you want to pick up Imbiber, and you want to pick up Sacrificial. Now that you know the glyphs, the Paragon tree is pretty straightforward. You want to reach those points and you want to build around those glyphs. As for the legendary nodes, I would take Bone Graft, I would take Scent of Death, and I would take Flesh Eater. So now I'm going to show you guys my gear. For the helmet slot, you want Deathless Visage. It's your best in slot helmet. It has all the key stats for your build. For your chest piece, you want Intelligence and Bone Skill damage. Anything else you can pair it up with is Total Armor, Maximum Life, damage reduction from closed enemies. Any one of those combinations is fine. For the aspect, you want the Immunity Bubble aspect or you want the Armor Stacking aspect. For the gloves, you want crit chance, you want ranks of Bone Spear, and you want crit damage with Bone Skills. Ideally, you would want your fourth affix to be Intelligence or Attack Speed instead of the Strength. As for the aspect, you want this one as it enhances your core skill. For your legs, you want Intelligence, and you can pair it up with Armor, Life, damage reduction effects, damage reduction from closed enemies, plus stats. Any one of those combinations is fine. The maximum minion life is not ideal. I just haven't found better pants, so do not use that affix. The aspect of my choice was the Bone Storm one. Gives me a barrier. As I mentioned earlier, I use Bone Storm to go into bad situations, so it just gives me a defensive buff. For your boots, you primarily want movement speed and essence cost reduction. Anything else is a bonus. Intelligence is ideal but not required. Plus ranks to corpse tendrils is not required. So you pretty much just want essence cost reduction, movement speed, and maybe intelligence. For your aspect, you want critical strikes give you movement speed as it gives you more clear speed. For your weapon, you want high DPS along with crit damage, core skill damage, vulnerable damage. Your fourth affix can be damage to distance enemies. It can be crit damage with bone skills. Anything is fine. For your aspect, you enhance your corpse tendrils. It pretty much gives you a buff effect when you strike enemies with it, which gives you huge crit chance and huge crit damage to that enemy. So you use this on big bosses or butcher and stuff like that. For your amulet now, you want three key affixes on this. You want movement speed, you want essence cost reduction, and I would say you want +3 ranks to one of the best passives to your build. It could be Evulsion, it could be Compound Fracture. Any other passive that affects the build in a good way, you can get +3 ranks to that passive. As for the fourth affix, you can take anything. As you can see, I have a kind of a passive that I don't make use of at all, so this could be a 3-stat amulet. So as you can see, a lot of my items, they have a lot of room for improvement, with the fourth affix being really bad. So I just want to show you guys that even with this kind of gear setup, like the potential of this build is huge. As for the aspect, you want the ossified essence key passive aspect. It pretty much gives you additional crit damage to your bone skills. Now for your rings, you want the Edge Master's aspect, and you want the aspect that gives you more, like it gives you essence on proc. So every time you lucky hit, you have a chance to generate essence, which is just, you can spam more Bone Spear, which is nice. The Edge Master aspect just gives you more damage the more resource you have, which is nice. For the affixes, you want crit chance, you want crit damage, and you want maximum essence. Now, I would say mandatory is crit chance and maximum essence. Other than that, you can take crit damage, you can take vulnerable damage, you can take life if you want to get a bit defensive. But yeah, I would primarily go like this ring right here is one of the better rings you can get, like the affixes. You can also look for resource generation on your affix, which is another good affix to have. So that's my gear setup for this build. And as for the Book of the Dead, you want to sacrifice your warriors in Skirmisher, you want to sacrifice your mages in Shadow, and you want to sacrifice your golems in Iron. Before I show you guys any gameplay footage, I do want to let you guys know that if you guys have any questions or anything, please put them down in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. I am going to be making more content, and yeah, thanks for watching. Enjoy the gameplay, and I'll see you guys next time.